Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you didn't know, my name is Nomi. I'm a cinematic photographer and director based in San Francisco, and today I'm going to be discussing my journey as a live music photographer. Let's get started. It's been 6 years since I moved to San Francisco, and ever since I moved here, I really wanted to get into the music photography scene. I've always been inspired by San Francisco-based photographers who have shot at iconic venues here in the city, whether it's the Fillmore, Rickshaw Stop, the Warfield, Fox Theater in Oakland. I really wanted to have an opportunity to do stuff like that, but I didn't know how to. The way I got into music photography was that I started looking for publications in my area. Literally just Googled music publications near me. And I was able to find a publication here in the city. A little disclaimer: when you're working for a publication, there are some deadlines. It depends on what publication you work for, but there are some deadlines where it is night of. There are some deadlines where you have at least 48 hours to do everything. So I've kind of been at the very extreme, getting the photos done night of and completing a review. If you don't have a writer, that's something you have to be aware of. Then also on the more lax side, getting some time to write the review, edit the photos, be a little bit more creative and have that time to, really get the photos down in the way that I want instead of kind of just bleh. Before I got to that, I had to kind of build up my portfolio. So I would just reach out to artists, smaller artists that were coming to the city on tour, and I would just ask via Instagram, DMs, emails, whatever I could find as a contact, and just ask, hey, would it be cool if I photograph you? Here are some examples of my photos. Would love to keep in touch. And roughly most of the time, everyone said yes, thankfully. And from that, I've just been able to kind of build my portfolio since then. When I first initially started, I didn't have any prominent gear or good gear, I would say, that will work great in low light. So I worked with what I had. My first full frame camera was the Canon 6D Mark II, and that came with the 24-105 f4 lens. So in low light, it would do reasonably okay, but most of the photos would be underexposed or I'd have to compensate. And then kind of going through that, I had some luck and was able to borrow some lenses from one of my coworkers, and I kept them for the longest time. Shout out to Phi, thank you for letting me borrow your lenses for an undisclosed amount of time. So with that, I was using the 24-70 f2.8 lens, and I also had the 70-200. So this was great to use around all over with if I was shooting in the pit close to the artist, or if I was a little bit further by or wanted some really tight close-ups, I would just use the 70-200. So from the 24-200, I had my bases covered. I had to kind of learn a lot, kind of to switch lenses in and out was not always the best because I would lose shots here and there. So I had to either stick with one or use the other, or kind of plan ahead. So I'm like using the 70-200 initially, and then somehow go back to my backpack, switch out, go back to the 24-70, and like take the rest of the shots. And at times that became kind of hard to do. So within the last year, I was able to finally purchase my own lens that has been my baby for, the last year since 2024. I was able to get the 24-105 f2.8 lens. Now, this baby is humongous. It's roughly the same weight as the 70-200 EF lens. It does everything for me. I'm able to get really close, those wide angle shots, and I'm able to also get really tight shots, not as tight as the 200 millimeter, but I can get roughly tight shots, and if I wanted to crop in post, I'm able to do that. And I really love this lens. It's a workhorse lens for me. It's what I have for my camera. It's the only lens I have for my camera. The 24-105 is a really great lens. So you're able to start off really wide with a 24, then, move into a slightly closer shot with the 35 millimeter, which is my favorite focal length. And then, tighten it up to 50, to 75, to 90, and then 105 when you need that extra length. This as my video lens as well. And I also have an ND filter that I could just pop on here. And it's great for multiple situations. So I would say this is the one lens to rule them all. It's been branded as a photo and video hybrid lens, and I think it lives up to its name. If you want to get into music photography, you start out small, looking at smaller venues, places where you can bring in your camera. If you can sneak in your camera to places, I would say do that. I've just noticed over the years it's been pretty more tight about that. I mean, there was one time when I had the 6D and the kit lens with it, I just stuffed it in a purse all the way at the bottom and put a cover on top of it, and I was able to get through. But again, times have changed. They're a little bit more strict on that nowadays. But however you want to start, however you can get in. So with concert photography, there's a lot of ins and outs, moving from publication, shooting for artists. I feel like there's no one way to get started. Like I said, when I got started, I looked for a publication, reached out to artists, and I've been able to do so many shows that I've only dreamed of doing, and really harking back to my inner child and the music that really informed me when I was younger. I've been able to photograph some of my favorite artists, from Queen to Metallica to the Marias to Donna Missal. The list goes on and on, but I'm just really happy about the opportunity to just live out my little dreams. And one artist that's really memorable for me was being able to work with Donna Missal. I've been a fan of hers for so long, and when I finally had the opportunity to photograph her and she said yes, it was such a dream of mine, and really happy and glad that I got to do that. Music photography, shooting with live music, it can be a bit of a risk. Initially, the payoff, you're not going to see the payoff right away, but you do, in your due time, and you're putting in the hours and you're doing what you can, it feels like it pays off in dividends later. Even after these 6 years of photographing here in the city, only recently I've been able to get my first paid gig, a couple paid gigs here and there, but I do it for the love of the game, not for the money. If you have any questions, anything you want to know more about being a live music photographer, please shoot your questions down below. Be glad to answer in another follow-up video or anything like that. And here are some of my favorite photos of 2024 and 2025 so far. Check out my Instagram here for updates on my photos, film, live music, portraits, potentially more video. I can't wait to share, and like and subscribe. I thank you all so much for watching this video and tuning in. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.